Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of April. I hope you are well. I'm using the Tarot of the Abyss for you today. We're doing this a little bit differently with the overhead camera because I am not quite unpacked yet and I'm not happy with studio, if you will, kind of situation yet. Plus there were also some issues with the audio on the last couple of videos that I did, so while I'm waiting for the new microphone to come, I thought we would just go with this, and because I'm nice and close to the camera, sound should be fine. So as usual, if the reading resonates with you, there will be an extended that you can access at the end. The link will be down in the description box for that. But let's just get on with this for you, Libra. Tell me what's going on with Libra, please. We have Page of Cups in your recent past. That's current energy for Libra. We have the Knight of Swords. That's Gemini energy. And what's coming towards... There we go. Queen of Pentacles is coming towards Libra for the month of April. We have the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Just pop it there. That's a card that's very much concerned with home. And I don't mean your four walls. I mean everything that home indicates to you, the feelings of it, you know, the people that make home for you. It can be your four walls too, but because it's such a card of celebration and happiness, it's something far less material than simply where one lives. So let's get some clarifiers. I'm going to use this deck here. It's the Wild Unknown. Give this a little shuffle and see what's going on here. It's interesting that it's all court cards for you, Libra. Now, as you know, these can be people or they can be energies. We'll see what happens when the clarifiers come out. Page of Cups, please. We have the Ten of Swords. We have Temperance and we have the Emperor. I like that. I actually like that in that order as well. Tell me about the Knight of Swords, please. Oh, we have the Six of Cups and we have the Fool. And Queen of Pentacles, please. Two together. We've got the Queen of Pentacles again and the Four of Wands. Wow, that's cool, Libra. We've got the Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck here, with the Nine of Wands and the Eight of Cups and the World sitting beyond those. I think in some ways this month, well, no, it's not the month coming towards you. It's the time that you've been in. It's been a bit uncomfortable. It feels like there have been revelations of all sorts here that you have just not been comfortable with at all. But, you know, the Four of Wands is the underlying card for the entire reading. This is pushing you towards something which is much, much more comfortable. That word keeps coming up, comfortable, uncomfortable, right? These two here together, I mean, we'll get to these in a second, but to have it finished off with the Four of Wands as well is quite excellent. The Knight of Cups is a card of where you put your emotions, how you put your emotions out there. You know, the Knight of Cups has a cup and he is, you know, he's always shown as in a state of movement. He's taking that cup somewhere precious. He's going to give it to somebody who is worthy of that. And so it's like how you give your emotions, who is worthy of your emotions, and how sometimes, you know, you even receive that back too. The fact that we've got the Nine of Wands and the Eight of Cups and the World card here does feel very strongly to me that there are some relationships which possibly are quite important to you. And by that, I would be talking about, you know, spousal, maybe it's even closer than that, you know, mother, father, son, daughter, that kind of thing, where there have been some, what's the word that I'm looking for? There's been some liberties taken, I think. I think that's how I want to put it, because whatever happens, it starts with love with you. It starts with the way that your emotion goes out. And for some reason, that isn't abating. This is not somebody that you're just going to turn your back on. But this is somebody with whom boundaries are necessary. And I get a feeling of managing expectations, you know, and specifically managing your expectations about what it is that you are capable of getting from this relationship. Like I said, it feels like it's very close. I don't feel like it's spousal, to be honest, because if it was, I mean, divorce is always a thing, you know, but I don't get that sense here. There's a sense of needing to put up boundaries, but this is very strongly managing expectations. And it's funny that this cup here looks a little bit muddy, and the swan is not up in a position that we would expect, you know, that beautiful kind of S curve on the neck here. It's kind of retreated into itself a little bit, and this cup looks muddy. And it could be that there are some confused feelings around this sort of situation, but I don't feel you, even with this World card here, I do not feel like you turn your back on this person. And I just want to point out that the card that's beyond that, or the two cards, hey, look at that, is the Star and the Mother of Swords. And the Mother of Swords is a Libra card. And there's the star being Aquarius, but it's hopes and dreams. And so I feel like you are hoping that these things, this situation, whatever it is going to sort itself out. But there are boundaries that need to be put up in the meantime to stop you from having your cup smashed, I think. That's certainly how it feels to me, at least. So let's have a look at what's going on down here anyway, because I'm rabbiting on for all this time about shadow cards. So we start with the Page of Cups. Now, Page of Cups doesn't have a strict astrological correspondence, and it can sometimes speak to an apology. And it may be that you've had an apology, but as I say that, I do not feel like it's particularly likely. It does indicate to me a shift of emotional path, right? All of the pages for me, they rather than with the aces where you're starting off brand new with something, the pages have, you know, are a certain level along a road, a certain length along a road before they veer off in a particular direction, right? So there's a kind of new start because you're going from an old path to a new one, but it's not completely novel. Right, it's almost sometimes a sidestep, or maybe, you know, just taking a what feels like a deviation, but it's not. It's actually your path, you know, of the emotional sort. But we've got it coming off the back of this 10 here. This is a very uncomfortable card, isn't it? It's a very difficult card. You know, I don't need to talk about how difficult that is too much when you see the sword going through the eyes here. I feel like you have woken up to something that you did not see before. Yeah, it's almost like you've opened your eyes and somebody's poked them out for you. This is a card of sometimes a great treachery, you know, of things being humiliated and betrayed and whatnot. Sometimes it's just really difficult periods coming to an end. And I like the fact that it's followed by the Temperance card immediately, because this is not you spending time worrying about this, you know, internalizing it, making it your fault, all that kind of thing. It's like, it is what it is. I don't like it. It's quite uncomfortable. It's been very challenging. How do I get on the path of healing me here? You know, very much like this here. Like, how do I take that road that takes me straight towards temperance? And this is the card of Sagittarius as well, and it could be that there's a Sagittarius involved somewhere. That's possible. But we have more fire energy here with the Emperor. And I actually, like I said, I actually like the way that these are playing out here, because it's things being too hard. It's things being very, very difficult. Moving here through this process of emotional alchemy, which is usually depicted by the Temperance card. You know, this is a fire element card, but there is always water on it, and it's taking pain and it's turning it into something useful. So the alchemical process here is taking you from a place of defeat, betrayal, humiliation, or simply something very difficult coming to an end, through a process here of transformation to the Emperor. Now, it's a card of Aries, so it does indicate a newism about it of some sort, but where is the Fool, which is the other card that you've got of Aries here? You know, they're both initiatory energies, being Aries. But the Emperor has a bit more going on in terms of experience than the Fool does. The Fool is very much that innocent, you know, bird just about to try and fly off the branch for the very first time. The Emperor here has been around the block a few times, knows a few things. He knows how to plan, he knows how to strategize, he knows how to take control. And I feel like you are taking control of a situation that has left you feeling quite, not out of control, but without control, perhaps. Almost like things kind of overtook you. And I feel like maybe left you feeling like you were out of your depth somewhat. Certainly without support. And now you are in a situation where it's come to an end, whether that's by your hand or whether it's just kind of happened accidentally, but it has come to an end. And now you're looking at how you move on from this and how you pull everything together, how you bring back control into your life in a way that makes you feel more comfortable than it is. I mean, because it does feel a lot like you've been pushed out of your comfort zone, Libra. And having been pushed out of your comfort zone, now it's time to kind of take stock, see where you are and be like, right, okay, well, this is the new comfort zone now. Like, I know what I know now. So, you know, I can't go back to not knowing it. So what does my life look like now? If I make peace with that, we move here into your current energy, into the Knight of Swords. And like I said, that's Gemini energy. It's very mercurial energy. So it's very much concerned with communication. You know, the Knight of Swords is the transmission of information, if you will. And the Knight of Swords is the step before your card, which is the Queen of Swords. So there's potential for there being messages kind of coming to you at this time. That's definitely possibly a thing. Just get this deck here. But I think there's more of a willingness for you to talk at this point. You know? There's some conjunction coming up really soon that has Mercury involved in it somewhere. I can't remember what it is. No, it might even be a Mercury retrograde. We've got one of those coming up, possibly. But this Six of Cups and Fool is quite interesting because both of these feel like a kind of hearkening back to something. So with the Six of Cups, we've got the past, right? And the past can involve our childhood or it can be other people's childhoods. You know, it can even go back as far as past lives, actually. But it speaks of children or childhood or the past or something like that. So there's a naivete that one would expect to see also indicated with that, and potentially a bit of nostalgia too. But we also have the Fool, and as we've just discussed, that Fool is all about the new cycle, you know, coming into a state of innocence, almost in terms of where you go next, because you are having new experiences, because you are coming across things that you have not experienced before. So the naivete and the innocence is carried across in both cards. But there's a sense here of toing and froing, backwards and forwards here. You know, we've got your roots, whatever they are. And actually, you know, I'm looking at that there. You know, this is who you are now. This is who you are becoming. But this here is what has gone on underneath the surface. This is all of your life experiences from your past, possibly from your childhood, possibly from your children's childhood, you know, whichever way it is. You know, it's vibrant and it's bright and it's come together to make this very solid looking tree. You know, I don't know if it's supposed to be the same tree, but it certainly looks like the same tree to me at this point here. And just because you can't see what's gone on underneath, it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's very, very beautiful. But it is to the past, you know, literally to the left of the reading as I'm reading this, which, you know, because I read left to right, like most people in the West do. Like, this is the past and this is the future. But we all know, you know, time is a little bit more circular than that, maybe even a bit of a spiral. But this is sticking your toe into something new. And I would like to know what that is. So let's get some cards here. Tell me about these. We've got the Six of Cups, please. We've got the King of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. Tell me about the Fool. Oh, got a random card that isn't even supposed to be in there, and it's the King of Cups again. That's from the Night Sun Tarot. I don't know how it got into this deck. Tell me about the Fool. I'll take those then. Now this is very interesting. We've got the Ten of Wands at the bottom of the deck here, but look at this. We've got two Kings of Cups here. Do you know, you feel completely nostalgic to me, Libra, of a time when things just were easier. But they weren't easier. When you know they weren't easier, it's just that the difficulty was kind of different to what you experience now. You know, it does feel like there's a nostalgia for when you felt more like you had your shit together than you do now. You know, and I don't think it's necessarily complacency, but it was because you knew exactly where the four corners of your kingdom were, you know. Perhaps you had a little bit more money, perhaps you had less to spend, you know, less outlay. Or maybe it was just simpler, you know. There does seem to be this wistful feeling about these cards here, whereas these ones, a bit of a different deal, because we've got that same King of Cups appearing twice, which is quite interesting. And then we have this Ace of Wands, again, this initiatory energy. I mean, look, it's clarifying the Fool card here, but it's here with the Judgment card. And I don't know whether there was this wistfulness here is perhaps for a time where you felt it was easier to manage your own resources and easier to to function materially. Whereas now, though you're still at a point where you're trying to, you know, you're not trying, you've got a great deal of emotional maturity about what it is that you are doing. There is, I've got a funny kind of feeling in my heart here, and it's something akin to fear. It's the comfort zone, right? This is the comfort zone. This is absolutely not the comfort zone, and you're being expected to deal with both things as well as you know, as each other. But we've got this Ten of Wands here. And being pushed to go in a different direction, or certainly being pushed out of your comfort zone and into something new in a way that you had not really anticipated doing. I feel like it's all kind of come around relatively suddenly with these here. I think you've probably struggled for quite a long time. But now you've had a revelation that you can do things differently, and that's fine, you know, and we get excited about that. But then the reality of actually doing it hits, and we're a bit like, oh, I think I might just stay where it's comfortable. Yeah. I don't know, there's nerves here, Libra. That's what I'm feeling. It's nerves. Fuck. What have we got there? So we've got the Knight of Coins, beg your pardon, and the Two of Wands. Yeah. Give me one more for that. Oh. So this could be money. I mean, the whole thing could be money, but there seems to be layers and levels to what's going on with you at the moment. I feel like rather than it being obviously money, we've got coins cards here either side, you know, Knight of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. It feels like it's more to do with security. It's more to do with how well you sit in your own skin. And I feel like it's been uncomfortable for a while, and there have been people who've absolutely contributed to that feeling of discomfort. But now you've kind of hit a tipping point. I feel like this is what you've realised. You are at a tipping point, and it is time for you to choose now. So do you go this way? This Virgo Knight of Coins is kind of headed that way, and he's got one coin. But the way that it's sitting here on my table is it's headed towards the past, you know, a simpler version of what was. That which you're actually kind of slightly nostalgic and wistful for at this point. Or Option number 2, door number 2, do you head towards the Ten of Pentacles, which is something a lot more stable than your memory of what this is here. You know, it's got potential for so much more. If you look at this here, right, so we've got 9 of Pentacles and we've got this this Knight of Pentacles here. Right, together that's a 10. It's the same as we've got here, but it's a 10 and no more. There is nothing more beyond that. Whereas here, there is the 10 of Pentacles, but there is the potential for everything else too. And there's a potential for things from the past to reappear renewed, you know, done better almost. So, you know, what it is that you're nostalgic for, what it is that might pull you in this direction, I feel actually is just about getting comfortable again. That word just keeps coming up over and over again. It's about getting comfortable. You're getting comfortable with a new version of the Ten of Pentacles, and one that contains the possibility for much, much more. Now, when we come into April for you, this is quite interesting. We've got this double Queen of Pentacles and we've got the Four of Wands here. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn energy, but it's very much about taking care of yourself. And this is interesting because immediately I'm being kind of hit with this notion of you having been spread far too thin for far too long. And I feel like you've absolutely put your, you know, what is best for you to one side for other people. Now that can be in lots and lots of different ways. And I've got a lot of things kind of popping up here, you know, where you make the effort to go and see people all the time and it is never reciprocated, you know, where you are the one who is constantly chasing a friendship or chasing some sort of relationship, you know, and you get the feeling that if you hadn't made contact, they never would, like it just wouldn't happen. But it puts you out, you know, it puts you in a considerable Ten of Wands state to be doing that all of the time. I feel like this revelation that you've kind of come to means that that's coming to an end. I've just dropped a card there as I was shuffling and it's the Nine of Cups. I'm going to put it back in. But the point is, the whole focus is shifting now towards you, as it should do, because this Four of Wands is important. And there's a strong sense of belonging that I'm getting here. And I don't know whether it's a need for a belonging, it's a want for a belonging, where you've perhaps felt slightly outside of something. So something like that. Tell me about the Mother of Pentacles. Oh, fuck you. You saw me shuffle that back in, right? We've got the Nine of Cups and we've got the Hermit. Let's get one more for that. Thank you. Yeah, Four of Cups is exactly what I was talking about there. We've got the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Wands here. Knight of Pentacles. Oh, look at all these characters. Oh, there you are. Look. Justice. But if you are being kind of pulled in lots and lots of different directions by lots and lots of different characters, as it feels to me like you are here, you know, I think everything's up for examination at this point, Libra, because you're not just appearing as a Queen of Swords here, you are appearing as Justice, right? This is big overarching energy that we've got here. And we've got, oh, look at this, we've got all of these characters going on here, and they all feel like they want something from you, like they all want something, some aspect of you, but I don't feel like many of them are giving back particularly. And so now you are being asked to sit in judgment of, in some ways, your own behaviors, right? Like, where are you abandoning yourself for other people? Right, I'll bring you back to this Four of Cups card here. Where are you not taking care of yourself so that you can be there for other people? Because I actually want to put Justice there, right? Just so she's looking at everything here. It doesn't feel like it's a comfortable place for you, but you really do, you really will be in the month of April be asked to look at specifically what is right for you, what makes you happy, what brings value to your life. Because I feel like there has been a lot done out of a sense of duty rather than anything else, you know. And when you think about it realistically, I mean, is it actually bringing any value to your life? You know, is it, look at the star here in the Hermit's lantern. Is it guiding your way? Is it, you know, are you using your hopes and dreams and stuff to guide your way forwards? Or are you just trying to play catch up with everybody else? You know, What do you actually want? And this Four of Cups and Four of Wands combination here is funny, because I'm coming back to this sense of there not being reciprocal relationships around you. It may be one, maybe several, but we've already got something ending over here, something that felt difficult, something, and it does feel relationship based, although it could be, broadly situational. It's that coming to an end, and that having been terribly difficult. And it's almost like the space that has been created now, is giving this Knight of Swords room to move around. It's giving the Knight of Swords room to transmit information from one bit of your brain to another, or maybe from your head to your heart, or even from your higher self to your soul, because the Queen of Pentacles is asking you to take better care of yourself, and to take this opportunity to see where it is that you are not taking care of yourself, and where it is that you are ignoring. I do feel like some of you have been ignoring, where you're being completely blown off by other people. This sulky character here, like, it doesn't matter that there's a sky hand from a cloud, this literal miracle in action in front of him, offering him in this cup. It's just not interested. I don't feel like that's you, Libra. I feel like this is what you have been doing. You've been offering like a sky hand, being very supportive, being there for people, chasing after people, to keep the relationship or the friendship going, and it just doesn't come back to you, not in any meaningful way. And I think it's time for a really honest conversation with yourself about where how long you are going to continue to let this go, because actually it's taking away from you. Like, you've got all of these cups here, and that's great. Or maybe you want all of those cups there, but you can't have them if you keep offering them to people who are not grateful for them. Do you know what I mean? It's interesting. Right, Libra, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go over to Vimeo. So if this reading has resonated with you, then please do feel free to join me over there. Or obviously, if you support me on Patreon, you get access to that for no extra cost. But if not to worry. It actually feels like a really good month for you. It feels like a clearing of the decks internally for you. It feels like there's a lot of mental clarity coming. A lot of mental clarity coming. And don't be afraid to put yourself first, because I'm sensing a great deal of resistance there, and it needs to happen, because where you're at now, it's time for a bit of a shake up. All right, know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.